All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Good to see you all. Thanks for hanging out with me today and every day on these interwebs. We're live on YouTube, Brockfin, Colin. We're talking about this and that. Just a reminder, the song that you hear at the beginning of the show is a first single off of a new record, which is coming out not today, but next Friday. Well, at least it will be available only on Bandcamp next Friday, the whole record. And then next Friday, that song is called Elevator. It will be released worldwide on streaming platforms, just that one song, next Friday. And then I think that's the day I need to stop playing the song because I'll start getting copyright hits. If I play that song during my show, I'll get copyright hits on my own song. But that's fine. It's time to change it up anyways. But anyways, what I was going to say is my record comes out next Friday, but you can pre-order the record and get 2 songs right now. And then when the record comes out on Friday, it will be delivered unto you, the whole record. So there's the link right there on the YouTube box if you want to go check out the record and the songs. And I'm putting that in the Rockfin chat as well. And Denver says I'm ready to buy the whole album. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, well, the whole album will be available on Friday, August 18th. And in chat, sorry. Let me just figure out what I'm doing here. And then call in people. And the link for the record is also in the call-in chat as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Nice. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. All right. It's Friday. We're hanging out. Friday Fix. Just talking about this and that. And lots going on as usual. But as we do on Friday, we kind of just hang out and have a little more interaction between everyone, chatters and callers and whatnot. So today's a really good day to call in if you want to call in to the show. Delene Parole asks, what part of the band am I? I'm all the band. I'm the whole band. I played every single instrument on that record, including the trumpet, which I just learned last year. But I'm singing, drums, bass, guitar, Rhodes. Call me nutty, but I just like to hang out in the studio and record records and make it. I don't know, make it a thing. I have some friends I play music with as well, but it's just everybody's got kids. Everybody's really busy. It's just really hard to get people together in a cohesive way. So I have learned to do it all myself. I have cloned myself, yes. All right. Oh, what's up? Well, William's calling in right away here, so Do need to say, William, though, that we are not exclusively on Rockfin, so we are live on YouTube. That's.
Oh, do you want me to call back later?
I mean, it depends on what you want to talk about, but I mean, we would be a little more free to talk. I'm gonna do half the show on YouTube, and then I'll sign off on
Yeah,
that.
why don't I do that? We were going to talk about the Trump indictment. Something happened yesterday. I lost sound, and when you went over to Rockfin,
Oh no.
so I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Call back in the last half of the show, and then we'll talk
Great.
about it. Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So, this from Climate Watcher. The seafloor is dissolving because of climate change. According to a new study, ocean acidification, which you would think might have some dissolving effects, is setting off a dangerous feedback loop that's dissolving the very bottom of the ocean. Yikes. Well, you know that crustaceans are having a hard time. All kinds of sea life is having a hard time. And a lot of it is due to the warmer weather. Some of it is due to ocean acidification, etc. Carbon emissions are acidifying the ocean so quickly that the seafloor is disintegrating. According to a study published this week in PNAS, this sets off a feedback loop that acidifies the ocean even more quickly. A process that is already killing off foundational marine life species such as coral and threatening the balance of all ecosystems on which we depend. Our study confirms that humans are now a geological force capable of impacting the Earth systems. You don't say. Like a supervolcano or a meteoritic impact. Olivier Solpes, an earth science researcher at McGill University and lead author on the study, said to Motherboard in an email. The root of the problem is that a foundational chemical reaction that keeps the oceans at pH levels that are conducive to life is being thrown out of whack. Calcium carbonate, or calcite, lines the ocean floor. When calcite combines with carbon dioxide and water, the reaction produces calcium ions and bicarbonate ions. Because of this, the surrounding water becomes less acidic over long periods of time. Think tens to thousands of years. But when you throw more carbon dioxide into the equation, all of the seafloor calcite starts to get used up to power those reactions in extremely large amounts, meaning that the ocean floor is dissolving. Now, there's not enough calcite, but more carbon dioxide than ever, driving up acidity levels. Foundational species in the marine food chain, such as coral, are fine-tuned to thrive within a very particular range of pH levels. When those levels change for a long period of time, these species, as well as the fish, bacteria, mollusks, and ocean life that depends on them, simply can't survive. The last time the oceans were as acidic as they are now, 96% of ocean life was extinct. They're trying to tell you that because it's warmer, they're trying to tell you that because of carbon dioxide, things are changing on the planet. Not at all. That's a total myth. Let's see. Summer of record-breaking heat paints story of a warming world. Let's check this out. Summer of record-breaking heat, and I'm not going to read the same thing over and over again. What are you doing? I don't want to read that or look at that. Get off of my page. The summer of 2023 is behaving like a broken record about broken records. Excuse me. Nearly every major climate tracking organization proclaimed June the hottest June ever. The July 4th became the globe's hottest day, albeit unofficially, according to the University of Maine's Climate Reanalyzer. It was quickly overtaken by July 5th and July 6th. Next came the hottest week, a tad more official, stamped into the books by the World Meteorological Organization and the Japanese Meteorological Agency. With the summer of extreme weather records dominating the news, meteorologists and scientists say records like these give a glimpse of the big picture, a warming planet caused by climate change. It's a picture that comes in the vibrant reds and purples representing heat on daily weather maps online, in newspapers, and on television. Beyond the maps and the numbers are real harms that kill. More than 100 people have died in heat waves in the United States and India so far this summer. Records are crucial for people designing infrastructure and working in agriculture because they need to plan for the worst scenarios, said Russell Vos, Climate Analysis Group Director for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. He also chairs a committee on national records. In the past 30 days, nearly 5,000 heat and rainfall records have been broken or tied in the U.S., and more than 10,000 records set globally, according to NOAA. Texas cities and towns alone have set 369 daily high-temperature records since June 1st. That's just Texas. Since 2000, the U.S. has set about twice as many records for heat as those for cold. Records go back to the late 19th century, and we can see that there has been a decade-on-decade increase in temperatures, said Gavin Schmidt, director of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, keeper of the agency's climate records. What's happening now is certainly increasing the chances that 2023 will be the warmest year on record. My calculations suggest that there's right now a 50-50 chance. The larger the geographic area and the longer stretch of time during which records are set, the more likely the conditions represent climate change rather than daily weather. So the hottest global June is extremely unlikely to happen without climate change, as opposed to one city's daily record, Texas state climatologist John Nielsen Gammon said. Still, some local specifics are striking. Death Valley has flirted this summer with the hottest temperature in modern history, though that 134-degree Fahrenheit record is in dispute. Phoenix grabbed headlines among major U.S. cities on Tuesday when it marked a 19th consecutive day of unrelenting mega heat, 110 degrees Fahrenheit or more. It kept going, reaching a 22nd straight day on Friday. The daytime heat was accompanied by a record stretch of nights that never fell below 90 Fahrenheit. Everyone's drawn to extremes, Vos said. It's like the Guinness Book of World Records. Human nature is just drawn to the extreme things out of curiosity. But the numbers can be flawed in what they portray. The scientific community doesn't really have the vocabulary to communicate what it feels like, said Stanford University climate scientist Chris Field, who co-chaired a groundbreaking United Nations report in 2012, warning of the dangers of extreme weather from climate change. I don't think it captures the human sense, but it really does underscore that we live in a different world, Field said of the records. Think of the individual statistics as brushstrokes in a painting of the world's climate. Cornell University climate scientist Natalie Mahawald said, don't fixate on any specific number. The details, of course, matter, but the thing that really matters, especially for the Impressionist painting, is when you step back and take a look at everything that's happening. She and other climate scientists say a long-term warming from burning coal, oil, and natural gas is the chief cause of rising temperatures, along with occasional boosts from natural El Nino warmings across parts of the Pacific, like the planet is experiencing this year. El Nino is a natural temporary warming of parts of the Pacific that changes weather patterns worldwide and adds an extra warm boost. An El Nino formed in June, and scientists say this one looks strong. For the previous 3 years, El Nino's cool flip side, La Nina, dampened a bit of the heat humans are causing. However, we still set global temperature records in those years, so that doesn't bode well if that's supposed to be the cool part of the cycle. A super El Nino spiked global temperatures in 1998, then was followed by less warming and even some flat temperatures for a few years until the next El Nino, Mahawald said. Weather won't worsen each year, and that should not become a common expectation, but it will intensify over the long run, she said. Sounds like nothing to worry about to me. I mean, I say just relax. I'm joking. The University of Michigan's Richard Rood, Mr. Brood, used to blog about climate records for Weather Underground, but in 2014 he got sick of continuously new extremes and stopped. I think we need to get away from that sort of record-setting sensationalism at some level and really be getting down to the hard work, he said, addressing the need for people to adapt to a warmer world. I need to adapt to speaking in a warmer world and get serious about slashing emissions causing hotter, more extreme weather. NOAA tracks weather observations from tens of thousands of stations throughout the U.S., and its global calculations incorporate data from more than 100,000 stations. When those records come in, the agency checks their quality and calculates where the numbers fit historically. NOAA's National Center for Environmental Information in North Carolina is the arbiter of national records, while the local National Weather Service office handles those for individual cities, Vos said. The Special International Committee deals with world records, and at times scientists disagree on the reliability of 100-year-old data. Those disagreements come into play over questions such as determining the hottest temperature recorded on Earth. Validating records takes time because of a backlog of extreme weather events to analyze. Officials haven't finished approving 130-degree Fahrenheit records from 2020 and 2021 at Death Valley, Vos said. Our primary job is keeping score, meaning what happened, how unusual was it, he asked. It's not like we take great joy in saying it was the warmest year on record. Again, it's the bigger picture that matters, Northern Illinois University climate scientist Victor Gensini said. Look at them all together in the aggregate sense of the atmospheric orchestra, Gensini said. There are so many clear signs that we are just not living in the same type of climate that we were. Right. Well, let's talk about how money is screwing up everything. And the belief that, golly gee, it's just the rich and the wealthy, they're just the best and the smartest ones, so we should really rely on them. This is kind of an amazing statement, but there were among amazing statements made on national television, right? Like, I don't know, who was the guy that said that if Bernie Sanders won in the last election, there would be brown shirts marching down the streets in Washington, D.C.? Okay. People saying that they would rather vote for Trump than vote for Bernie Sanders, because that's actually the truth of the matter. For all the people that are like, it's communism and socialism and communism and all these left wingers are destroying everything. We actually don't. We're actually a right wing country, and we pretty much always have been, mostly. And I'm not playing the video yet, Gene. I'm just showing it. I'm going to play it in a second. Are you trying to tell me to stop talking? What was I saying? We generally like the right-wing side of things, right? And because that favors capitalism. That's called fascism. And just because you call fascism another name, like National Socialism, like the Nazis, right? Or whatever name you want to call it. Whatever name you want to brush fascism with. It's still fascism. So there's that. So a lot of people on the right and in the libertarian field like to say it's, oh my God, we're in it's communism and we're going towards a communist state and that's what's wrong with everything. No, actually, what's wrong with everything is that it's actually fascism, and you guys have got it all wrong. We're too far to the right. We're way too far to the right. We don't do anything for anybody. We don't do anything for our people. We spend all our money on the military and so that's what's happening. We're actually more afraid of actual real socialism or democratic socialism or communism or sharing the wealth or spreading the wealth or taking some of the wealth from the rich or not allowing the rich to create mega monopolies like BlackRock, which control like $10 trillion worth of wealth. I mean, I can't even fathom $10 trillion. That is insane, right? That shouldn't actually exist. So I don't know whether the people on the right are delusional or intentionally saying all the things they're saying, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But what we do is we run around the world stomping out any kind of socialism or communism. We run around the world stomping out any governments that actually help their people and share the wealth and spread the wealth and build the wealth of their people. What we do is we stomp those countries down or stomp them out and try to install our own right-wing dictators. That over and over and over and over. That's what we get. So I don't know. I have a special I don't know what you would call it. Loathing, I guess. When I hear people start to say, "Wow, what's wrong with this country is it's going communist." And no, dude. No, it's not going communist. It's going full fascism, full on fash, and it just gets more and more fash every year. And it doesn't matter whether the fash is called the Democrats or the fash is called the Republicans. It gets more fash. I don't know. I am on a roll. Thanks. Well, let's listen to this. This is so insanely. This guy is saying small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy and the GOP. Small donors with your wants and your wishes and your little bits of money that you want to give to candidates that you think will help you. Pshaw. Yeah. Why don't you guys just stop trying? I mean, can you be any more condescending and disgusting? He says, small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, right? We don't want to hear the voice of the people and the money of the people. That's a problem for democracy. What? No, it's actually a problem for fascism. That's actually what you want in a democracy, but he does a really good job of turning it around and making it seem like, no, actually, eating this stick of butter is going to be good for you. Here, this is enjoying good health. Here, down a pint of tequila. This is going to help you. It's going to cure your headache, right? Like this is, I mean, but they're saying this on national TV, and I'm sure some people are like, "Oh yeah, totally." Large donors actually have a strategic view about moderation, who can win and who can't, because they're the smart ones. Small donors are really just venting their spleen with their credit card. Holy. I don't know. I don't know about you. But this is the kind of stuff that makes people, it actually fills me with rage when people say this stuff out loud on national TV. Anyways.
But I just also think that we were dealing with a time where there were a lot of people, there was a lot of cheering and self-congratulation about the rise of small donors a decade ago. And now small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, for the GOP, because large donors actually have a strategic view about moderation, who can win, who can't. Small donors really are just venting their spleen with their credit card, and they lock candidates into positions that can hurt them in the general election.
Such an important point.
I want to do it. But I just also think
CNN. Actually, large donors. It's the rich, the wealthy, the corporate, the people in control that really need to be in charge and shape things and actually right. That's good for democracy. Such an important point you said there. I'm trying to control myself. I really am trying to control myself. What a reprehensible, disgusting lizard of a human being that person is. And that's about as mean as I'm going to make it right now. Holy shnikes. If I heard someone say that in person in front of my face, I'd probably curse them out. I'd curse them out. I would curse them out so bad that they'd probably have to leave. They'd probably feel very strange. Not good. Not good at all. I would totally curse it. I would tell them what a horrible human being they were. In really foul, in the foulest of language that I could possibly muster. I would make them feel as bad as I could possibly make them feel, because that person needs to feel real bad right now. Ooh, that makes me angry. Anyways, Steve Breedlove, thanks for the super chat. Been listening to Peter Turchin End Times. I don't know what that is. Elite overproduction plus mass immiseration equals state crisis. Helps explain politics of collapse. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for letting me know. Unbelievable. Anyways. Yes, Denver Attaway. CNN is totally on brand with that one. These small donors just venting their spleen. These people out here just voting and stuff. They think they know what's right. They don't. But have a totally fair election, Have fun on election day. Suckers. Whew. I think I need I don't know what. And and if you wonder why, this is another example of why we live in a pretty much a fascist state. We don't actually have a democracy, a functioning democracy. We don't have one that functions for the people. And that was, long ago stated in what was it, the Stanford study? That we don't have a functioning democracy, that donors and corporations control most of the policies, control which ones are approved, passed, or implemented. And the people don't really ever get their way, no matter how much of the majority of people believe something to be necessary. Well, yes, Andre. Yeah. Anyways, Clarence Thomas, big old fat right wing dude among the many, gets wined and dined, hosted and boosted to do what the all the wealthy want him to do, which is right wing policies, fascism, straight up. It's not communism. It's not socialism. Straight up. If Larry Fink is telling you that he wants to implement ESG, that's not socialism. You have a guy who runs a $10 trillion, the biggest asset portfolio company on the planet Earth, telling you that he wants to implement something is not socialism or communism on any level. It's fascism. I wish people could actually understand what those words mean, but, whatever. These are just small points to make. Anyways, this just tells you all the things that all the many great things that Clarence Thomas has received over the years for his faithful duty to the corporations and the people in power. And just because he's on the right doesn't mean, oh, well, that's why they're so bad. No, the Democrats are also fascist, right-wing lunatics who will do anything for $1. They're literally the same, Joe Manchin, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Need I say more? I could go on. They're all fascists, all of them. All of them are fascists. You just, the people have just been convinced that one side is the not fascist side, and that is the greatest parlor trick of all, right? Because it's supposedly the really smart people who believe in the good side that's not fascist. It's way easier to fool somebody who thinks they're smart than it is to fool somebody who might have less of a high view of themselves. High and mighty is what I was going to say. During his 3 decades on the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas has enjoyed steady access to a lifestyle most Americans can only imagine. A cadre of industry titans and ultra-wealthy executives have treated him to far-flung vacations aboard their yachts, ushered him into the premium suites at sporting events, and sent their private jets to fetch him, including on more than one occasion an entire 737. It's a stream of luxury that is both more extensive and from a wider circle than has been previously understood. Really. And they just tell him, he's been all over the world. Private jets and yachts and vacations. Anyways. Wow, how's that for irony? One of his biggest donors, his last name is Crow. First name is not Jim, though. It's Harlan. This year, ProPublica revealed Texas real estate billionaire. Oh, this is from Poppy Davis, by the way. Texas real estate billionaire Harlan Crow's generosity towards Thomas, including vacations, private jet flights, gifts, the purchase of his mother's house in Georgia, and tuition payments. Wow. In an April statement, the justice defended his relationship with Crow. The Crows are among our dearest friends. Indeed. Really friendly. As friends do, we have joined them on a number of family trips. Anyways. And am I to believe that all of this is legal? Here we go. In a statement of ProPublica, Sokol, one of his donors, has been close friends with the Thomases for 21 years and acknowledged traveling with and occasionally hosting them. He defended the justice as upright and ethical. We have never once discussed any pending court matter, Sokol said. Our conversations have always revolved around helping young people, sports, and family matters. Of course, of course. These are just... He just happens to know a lot of wealthy people. That's just, is it his fault that rich people like him? Is it a judge on the Supreme Court? Is it his fault that rich people just really like to hang out with him? They just talk about helping kids. And strengthening democracy, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. The justices have said they follow court rules prohibiting them from accepting gifts from a group of people so frequently that a reasonable person would believe that the public office is being used for private gain. But no, that's not what's happening. But what actually constitutes a gift under those rules is ambiguous. And in practice, justices have few restrictions on what they can accept. So I guess this is quote unquote legal. Wow. Other members of the court have accepted travel underwritten by wealthy businessmen and speaking invitations at universities. See, they just happen to attract wealthy friends too, because they're just amicable, amiable type people, right? They just hobnob in different circles. I don't know. Anyways, this is just letting you know what a lucky, amiable guy Clarence Thomas is. That's all. That is all. Rich Diana says, at least Thomas's wife isn't a dirtbag. Oh, wait. Yes, Poppy Davis, you read that. Yeah, justices have few restrictions on receiving gifts. Apparently, it's fine. Okay. All right, it's getting kind of towards the end of the show. Real quick, last thing I'm going to talk about before I jump off of YouTube. One more thing. Because I want to have enough time to talk about some other things. Police crack down on corporate greed, says Poppy Davis. No? Sorry, I meant on people who want to save the earth from corporate greed. Human rights just get in the way, says Chief. So apparently Europe is not liking all these climate protests, and the UK either. That's kind of what's missing from when people are like, these lunatic climate protesters, they're completely delusional, and this is all this is the Klaus Schwab and all the people. Oh my God. Nah. I always hate when Reuters does this. I don't want to do it. Hold on, let me see if I can do this elsewhere. What's missing from people's perspective on that when they say, "Oh, this is just, these people are all put up to this by some ne'er-do-wells, and they don't, they're not real protesters, and they're all fake, or they're delusional, they live in a cult or something." But they being in this cult and being put up to this seems to induce some really harsh penalties. So just quickly, France, Germany use wiretaps and GPS to track the activists. Bavaria tries to stop protests with preventative detention. UK has also broken up protests before they happen. This is because, they're all funded by. This is because it's all supported by, I don't know who, but right. They're trying to call these groups domestic terrorist groups. They detain them, they arrest them. This is because all the really important people, the wealthy people, are trying to put one over on you, and they're driving us toward climate lockdown. And they're doing that by locking down the protesters first. I guess that's how it's working. Guys, climate lockdown is here. right? But first, we're going to lock down the climate protesters, shut them up. Again, I don't know. Sure, makes sense to me. Makes a whole lot of sense. I'm convinced. This is all fake. Anyways, France outlaws one climate protest group. Germany states they consider a ban. And the Berlin police spend more than 400,000 hours on climate cases. So instead of spending money trying to figure out what we could do about climate change, sorry you guys can't see the article, but I'm just reading it on a different browser. Instead of spending money trying to figure out what we can do about climate change, we're spending a lot of time and energy and effort putting climate change activists into jail because somebody's controlling them, I guess. Okay. All righty. Tell me more about how this is working out for them. Let me know. Let me know how that's going. Let me know how soon the climate protest lockdowns are going to start. Let me know when lockdowns are going to start with the climate change. I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing for like 2 years, and next they're going to do it with climate change. I've been hearing that for 2 years. I don't see. There is not one. Somebody actually said yesterday, I was listening to somebody, they said they're already locking people down. I was like, where? Where are they locking people down because of climate change? Are they actually locking people down because of climate change? I think warning people not to go outside because it's too hot is not the same thing. You know, requesting people not to like go outside when it's 114 degrees or whatever is not the same thing as a lockdown. Anyways, if anybody actually knows of an actual real climate change lockdown that has happened and transpired on this planet, let me know. Let me know so I can cover it. But I don't see it. It ain't happening. It's kind of ridiculous. All right. So I'm going to jump off of YouTube. Thank you, YouTubers. I will see you tomorrow.